bring in, as promised, Academy Award-winning documentary filmmaker Michael Moore. Michael, good evening.
Good evening, Keith.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is Rachel Maddow. Good evening, Rachel.
Good evening, Keith.
There's been a spike in the desire to own guns in Connecticut. Statewide, over 90,000 guns have been authorized for sale. You know how I feel about it.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Good evening, my fellow Americans, my patriots, fellow patriots. It is Monday, December 9th, 2013. Snow is in the air. We had our first snow here in the great Midwest. I know it's cold, but it's not as cold as it is in the Arctic. Someone needs to tell Greenpeace Santa that. We'll talk about that here in a little break. But apparently Greenpeace put out a video over the weekend, and, you know, obviously, once again, they're so misinformed. They're so misinformed. It's not even funny. But if you want to join in the conversation, it's 1-800-580-4870. That's 1-800-580-4870. Or, of course, you can join us on Skype. Skype name is The Midnight Patriot. That's The Midnight Patriot. Be taking calls, talking about news. I don't know how long we're going to go. It's been a busy day here. It's actually been a very busy weekend. Very, very, very busy weekend. So we got, and that's one of the things that we are trying to fix here at the Midnight Patriot. We have a little bug that we found in our software, in our chat. For some apparent reason, if you go to patriotfb.com, that is patriotfb.com. Apparently there is a small bug. It comes up every once in a while. We'll be working on it in the chat, where you cannot turn off the sound. So we'll get to that after the show. I appreciate you guys, Mr. Black, for telling us about that and everything. But we'll take care of it after the show, or maybe during a break and stuff. But man, we got a lot of things to be talking to you about tonight. You know, the president's at it again. You know, the great divider. The great divider's at it again worldwide, on the worldwide stage. You know, he's alienating our allies, and just unbelievable, just unbelievable. But we just got a lot of news and information to go over tonight. It's going to be kind of a play it by ear night and everything. I've been working on the site. We brought up our about 60 more servers today worldwide. So we're getting out there, getting our patriotfb.com website, getting that propped up and secured worldwide. You know, we had a decision that we had to make internally if we were going to limit it only to the United States or if we were going to let it go worldwide. So we made the choice to let it go worldwide. But with that, of course, you can only imagine, you know, the possibilities of threats and stuff. So we had to do some extensive security changes in the code to protect us from that type of exposure. So we're getting it out there. But, you know, of course, we're going to be talking about this administration, NSA, in this hour. We're also going to be talking about the Afghanistan. I mean, it's just amazing. We have about 20 or 30 news items to go over. But if you'd like to join in the conversation, give us a call, 1-800-580-4870. That's 1-800-580-4870. Or, of course, you can join us on Skype. Our Skype name is the Midnight Patriot. That is the Midnight Patriot. So we're going to take a little break here, pay some of our bills. We're amassing quite a bit of them between the podcast and also the new patriotfb.com. If you haven't had a chance, go out to patriotfb.com. You can sign up with your Facebook account, or you can just use your normal account. It's going to be pretty easy to navigate. I think you're going to find it pretty familiar to a current social media site that you are using. We're adding features and and products to it every day. But join us at www.themidnightpatriot.com and also patriotfacebook.com.
The country's done. They say that the stock market's gonna crash. They say that every single one of us is gonna let down while they walk across our back. But I'ma stand up. I'm gonna put my fists in the air. No, I don't wanna have to bring my guns, but I'll be ready if it goes there. But you can let down if you wanna. You can run away if you wanna. You can pretend that this is totally okay if you wanna. You can play it dead if you wanna. Get what they said if you wanna. Turn your back on the country and you right now. But I don't wanna. So let's stand up, put our fists in the air. No, we don't wanna have to bring our guns, but we'll be ready if it goes there. 'Cause we're the epitome of what's left of the USA. We're hardworking, honest, and we make our money the good old-fashioned way. But you can lay it down if you wanna. You can run away if you wanna. You can pretend that this is totally okay if you wanna. You can play it dead if you wanna. Forget what they said if you wanna. Turn your back on the country and you right now. But I don't wanna. No, I don't wanna. Well, they say that the country's fine with a little hard work and prayer. We can get her back on her feet, 'cause I believe she belongs there. So let's stand her up and brush off the dirt and dust. A lady liberty needs our help from every single one of us. But you can lay it down if you wanna. You can run away if you wanna. You can pretend that tyranny is totally okay if you wanna. You can play it dead if you wanna. Get what they said if you wanna. Turn your back on the country and you right now. But I don't wanna. No, I don't wanna. But I don't wanna. No, I don't wanna. So let's stand up and put our fists in the air. No, we don't wanna have to bring our guns, but we'll be ready if it goes there, yeah. So let's stand up and put our fists in the air. No, we don't wanna have to bring our guns. No, we don't wanna have to bring our guns, but we'll be ready if it goes there. Ready if it goes there. Ready if it goes there. Be ready if it goes.
You're listening to the Midnight Patriot Radio Show and Podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Norton. You can join us here live every Monday through Friday from 9 p.m. till 12 a.m. Central Standard Time, or on the web at www.themidnightpatriot.com for all the latest shows, news, information. Follow us on Twitter. Like us on patriotfb.com. That's Patriot, patriotfb.com. You can join. If you haven't joined, you can use your Facebook credentials, or you can put in your own credentials there. Man, that site is getting just every day. We're making vast improvements. Now, full disclosure, I have to give you guys all full disclosure. We had some downtime today. Yes, it is true. It was planned though. It was intentional. We actually had to switch over to we actually added 60 more servers to our CDNs, our content delivery networks today. And because we did that, we actually had to make some DNS changes. So we actually weren't down. It's just that it took a little bit for the DNS, the domain name servers, to catch up with some of the changes that we made. So the site wasn't down, but I'll call it down because some people couldn't get to it for a few minutes and everything. But we're rocking and rolling. The site is picking up momentum. We're adding users every day. We've got some really cool features, some really, really cool features. One of the things that you can do now is that you can actually link your Patriot FB site back to your Facebook site. And the way that you do that is you actually go to account, manage social accounts, click on that link to them, and then whatever's posted on your Facebook page will actually show up here. Now, you can also comment in certain areas. Now, what we found out is the reason why you cannot comment on all of the posts that come over is because if you got them from another post and they restrict you from commenting on theirs, it won't allow you to comment, because anything you type in at patriotfb.com will actually go back to your wall, your comment. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat, that little integration that we got there. One of the other things too is in your privacy settings, go in there and make sure that you set your privacy the way you want it. The other thing is notification. Make sure that you also set your notifications if you want to get notified of updates and everything like that. I sat up last night literally till about 3 o'clock in the morning watching videos. We are putting together a very extensive video library to be used by fellow patriots and stuff. So I was up quite a bit last night, pretty late, watching videos that people have posted up there, and it's just incredible. It's just going to be incredible. Now, one of the things that we're also doing, if you get out to the marketplace, we've actually beefed that up a little bit, allowed our merchants to take payments right there. So get out to our marketplace. Now, with the new delivery network, we had a little snag because images that get posted there, we've got to, we're working diligently with the engineers at Amazon and Cloudflare to make sure those images get posted and get updated instantly across the network, or we're going to have some problems. So we're working on that. But other than that, we are, you can register. Heck, we might even put in an insurance exchange in here, to help you out, a private insurance exchange, because it seems like everything else is working. Now, one of the things we just got Black was telling us about is that the chat, there is the ability to mute. If you go by your name in the chat window with the arrow down, click on that, it should bring up another window in which you can mute it or go offline. If that is not working for you, and I just tested it during the break, and I will work on that after the show. I can only do so much, but after the show, we will get working on that. The best way I found that to get rid of that, so you can actually chat with us during the show and not have the annoying bing, and the windows popping up all over the place as you're surfing and browsing patriotfb.com. What you can do is actually close out your browser or clear your cache first, close out your browser, and then start it back up. And I find that button does work. And like I said, we will fix that after the show. I know exactly what's going on. So we'll get that taken care of as well. But, just incredible. We did add a feature where you can also import your contacts. What that is that you can actually invite your Facebook friends and family. Now, because of Facebook restrictions, and we don't want to put you in Facebook jail, we want to be a good neighbor. You can only invite 20 at a time. That, even though it will allow you to select them all, and what it does is it puts them in a pool, and then every day it will send out 20 invites. So what I would recommend is invite people that would appreciate this site and everything that we have to offer. So it is content driven. We got a ton of content up there already, just a ton of it. And I appreciate everybody. I appreciate the long chat. I really do. And I just want to say, we got to keep it going. Now, some of the future enhancements that we're going to do, obviously, we are getting other podcasters working out. There's really no deal. It's just if they want to be on patriotfacebook.com, that's patriotfb.com. If they want to be on the site, they just got to be able to provide us a feed and everything if they're not using Spreaker. If they are using Spreaker, we already have it worked out. So if you know of anybody that does a podcast, would like to be on our show, what we'd like to have is 24/7. That's 24/7, 365 days a year. Patriot Radio, Patriot Music, Patriot podcasts and shows. So this will be a one-stop shop. And we got the player is already ready to go. We just need the content. Of course, our show is going to be there. You're also going to hear JJ McCarthy's show. We'll bring in Prepper Recon, his show. We've got, just some other guys. I haven't confirmed with the other guys yet, so I don't want to, blast that out there yet until they say yes. And, but if you have a show, if you know of a show and you'd like to be at patriotfb.com, just let us know. Just give us a shout. We'll be glad to get it up there. Now, one of the things, and I want to kind of tell you, we're all in this together. It's not about, patriotfb.com. It's not about teapartywhatever.com. It's not all these sites. There's plenty of sites out there, and our site might appeal to some and might not appeal to others. Our number one concern with the site, number one, is security, to make sure it's secure. Number two, to make sure it's accessible. And then number three, to make sure it's speedy, that the content is delivered to you in a timely manner. That's our goal. Now, we do have an open network now where we're allowing people to join, but we haven't broadcasted this over the internet through search engines. It's all been through the Patriot community. But there's going to be a time in which it will be an invitation-only site. So get your invitations out there for your friends, because we will be locking it down for obvious reasons. We already have several members who are volunteering to be on what they call troll patrol. And even though, we don't believe in censorship, we're not going to censor anybody, but this is a Patriot site. And if you don't have anything to add to the message, we will ask you to go somewhere else. Or, like I said, you'll suffer the consequences from the existing members as they flame you. But, but it's all about communication. And like I said, over the weekend, it's amazing. I've seen 3 other similar sites pop up. Some, and they're all, related to friends or associates that I know personally. And that's okay, because anything we got to do to get the message out there, I'm all for it. All I ask is those individuals, if you're listening, or your friends, that I know that are listening and stuff, have them contact me. We will help them secure their sites, because that's important. And the reason why we want to do that is because if one site gets hacked, it affects us all. It affects us all. And so, we're all in this fight together. We can't, I've said that this is not a profit center for us, not a profit center for me. It's not how I pay my mortgage and everything. So I'm willing to help, some knowledge to help. And so reach out to them, have them contact us here at either patriotfb.com or the midnightpatriot.com. And I'll be glad to help them secure their site, because we gotta keep Big Brother from getting access to our conversations and everything. So some new features to look forward to in the next couple weeks. Obviously, we're going to have the podcast player so you can listen. We are putting in a book section so that you can actually read books, training manuals. I have an extensive library of military training manuals on urban warfare and different things of that, documents, government, freedom of information documents that we've obtained over the years. So we're going to share that with you. So that's going to be one of the first things we're doing. The second thing that we're going to be putting up, obviously, is a job board. So you can actually post. If you're an employer looking for someone in the Patriot community, you can post that for jobs. One of the things we will do right off the bat is we're going to list every congressional member seat. We're going to be looking for Patriots to fill those empty seats, those positions. So you'll see that. One of the other features besides the job board is we said the documents, the job board. Those are the two main ones. There was another one. Oh, if you have a YouTube video collection, you can link to that, and that will be sucked right into the site. So, we want to be, there's a reason why we're building this network. We want to be a one-stop shop network for Patriots. We want every Patriot to be able to come here, watch videos. I will tell you, our video selection is outstanding. We have some of the best videos, and we're adding them every day. New videos to the site. And so that you guys know that as we add videos, I'm actually capturing those on our servers. So they're on YouTube, but they're actually on our servers as well. And so if we ever get, if YouTube ever goes down or a video goes down, we will always have a copy of it. So that's the other thing. So as you add videos, we are actually downloading the MP4 of those videos in high definition. And so we're keeping those on the server. So we're building an extensive video library. Just great things, just incredible things. And I want to say thank you. Thank you to everybody who is out there, who's helping us, giving us advice, sharing with us, our beta testers, I would say, that are reporting errors or improvements. And I hope that we're addressing those as quick as possible. We're trying to keep the site free. The site will always be free, but our revenue model will probably, we'll be advertising, obviously, is going to be our revenue model. I can tell you right now, to operate this site, it is costing in upwards of $2,500 a month. That's with the servers and everything. So, it is what it is, right? That's the price we have to pay for freedom, between the hosting, the CDNs, the development, the security, White Hat Security, who does all of our security work. And, it's just, but it's money well spent, very well spent, and everything. So, tell your friends about it. Let them know. Now, talking about, as you guys know, we'll get into the news. That's enough of that. But I am watching the chat. So if there's something you'd like to chat about or whatever, feel free to join us on the chat. But go to patriotfb.com. Chat window will pop up, and then you'll be able to go into the Midnight Patriot chat room, which is a new room that we created specifically for the show. Oh, yeah, that's another feature. We have the ability now to create rooms that are specific to the show, and I'll be monitoring that. But if you'd like to join in the conversation, you can always give us a call, 1-800-580-4870. That's 1-800-580-4870. Or you can call us at the Midnight Patriot. That's our Skype name, the Midnight Patriot. And that's how you reach us on Skype. So now let's get into the news. Obviously, over the weekend, Mandela died, passed away. And, regardless of his beliefs, socialist, he did inspire a nation, no doubt about it. He, definitely inspired a nation. And my only experience with Nelson Mandela was as it relates to when, the movie that I saw about him playing, or not playing, but encouraging the rugby team, South African rugby team. That's all I know about him, except what I saw in popular media, which I discount anyways. But I just want to say, he was a socialist. So I don't disagree with the man. I can respect him, but I don't agree with his position. And of course, leave it up to this administration, this president, to use his passing to once more alienate the American people from our closest ally, the United Kingdom. When we get back from the break, we'll talk about that a little bit more. We'll take calls from listeners. Our number is 1-800-580-4870. You can chat with us at Patriot FB. That's patriotfb.com. Or, of course, you can Skype us at the Midnight Patriot. You're listening to the Jeff Norton of the Midnight Patriot radio show and podcast. We can be listened to live from every Monday through Friday from 9 p.m. till 12 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Ourselves and our own self-destruction. God only knows we need help. Looking for a hero, someone who cares about the future, not about themselves, but about the idea of America. We need a hero, someone who shows the way. We need a hero who speaks for the people and what we have to say. We still believe this land of the free is still America. We still believe in
a control spending, a government that no longer works for the people. Had enough? Then vote for Stone Anthony for president. Replace politicians with a citizen statesman. www.stoneanthony2016.com.
America, welcome home the brave. The brave men and women who serve their country are coming home. Home to their cities and towns. Home to their mountains and valleys. Home to their families and friends. Home to America. Some of these warriors are coming home with wounds you can see, and some with wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Wounded Warrior Project was created to provide the support these wounded veterans need to ensure their return to America is well-adjusted and successful. But we need your help to ensure that our mission is a success. Help us honor and empower these wounded warriors. Contact us at findwwp.org. America, welcome home the brave.
You're listening to the Midnight Patriot Radio Show and Podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Norton. You can join us, blah, 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 blah. You can join us here every Monday through Friday, starting at 9 p.m., ending at 12 a.m. Central Standard Time. Or, of course, on the web at www.themidnightpatriot.com. And I will have to tell you, though, my favorite hangout when I'm on the web is patriotfb.com. That's patriotfb.com. It's a new site for those that are just tuning in tonight. I highly recommend you get out there and logged in. It's 100% secure. Everything's encrypted, of course, with SSL. But on top of that, the data is actually encrypted. Then on top of that, it's broadcast. The servers actually sits behind firewalls. And then it broadcasts out to what they call CDNs, content delivery networks, and we use some of the biggest ones in the world. We use Amazon, we use Cloudflare, we use Acame, and so your information is secure. Is secure. Now, we have multiple servers as well. We have built a tank and everything. So, highly recommend that you get out there and join us during the show. If you want to chat with me, don't want to give us a call at 1-800-580-4870. That's 1-800-580-4870. Or you want to speak on our Skype line, which is the Midnight Patriot. You can always join us. Join us out at patriotfb.com and join us in the chat. We watch it during the show, and there's a topic you want to talk about or, something you want to promote or get off your chest, feel free to post it up there. We'll try to get to it. So do a little bit of house cleaning here. Tonight's show is brought to you by it's crazy. I'm having a hard time. I gotta multitask. Mountain View Off-Grid Living. That's Mountain View offgridliving.com. Give Sue a call. You can join us actually at Patriot FB. She's on there quite a bit. And if you have any questions or whatever, feel free to give her a chat, and she'll get back to you. Very knowledgeable. We have put together just an incredible team of preppers, and we're adding more every day. We got Prepper Recon, which does, he's on the show with us every Thursday. Becoming a great friend, great friend of the community as well. So he's on the show on Thursday. We have Sue at Mountain View Off-Grid Living, who's also, a part of the conversation, and, we're going to add some other preppers. So one-stop shop for all your prepping needs. If you have questions, feel free to ask during the show. They're always out there to help you. Get the news and the information that you need in the prepper community. And what's really nice is that they're willing to share. That's very important, especially for me. My idea of prepping was to buy a year's supply of food at a time. And I'm finding out that even though that's good, that's not complaining. That's good. But I'm finding too that there's other things that we can do, that are more cost effective. Now, I will tell you right now, Sue's got a special going on her canned meats. If you go to mountainviewoffgridliving.com, I'm definitely going to buy those. I'm still a little leery about doing the canned meats, and on top of that, canning my own meat, my own bacon, and all of that. And believe it or not, even when you can it, they're saying when you can it, it's only about 3 years shelf life. She's got meat, literally, that's 15 years shelf life. Just incredible. So when I go and, get my deer, get my turkey for the season, instead of letting it sit in the freezer and get freezer burn, we'll can that ourselves. But our mainstay survival food, we're going to get from mountainviewoffgridliving.com. So I, highly recommend that you go out there and see what she has to offer. Now, getting back to my comment, I was watching the news today, and obviously, Nelson Mandela passed away. The thing that irritates me, there's two things actually that irritated me about how we as a country are addressing the passing of South Africa's president or former president, right? And the part that aggravates me the most, and it should aggravate you, when Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher passed away, a dear friend of the American people, a dear friend of the, government, the United Kingdom is a friend, or I should say, has interest in America. They do. This president, this administration didn't send one representative to her funeral, completely ignoring her passing. Not one. But when Nelson Mandela passes, we're loading up the planes and we're flying them all over. Now, I personally think this administration is due for a vacation, right? They are. They're due for a vacation. So I think that's what it is. Call it what you think it is. If you think it's something else, give us a call, 1-800-580-4870. That's 1-800-580-4870. Love to talk to you about it. But, this administration has just completely thumbed its nose at the United Kingdom, and now is flying over and visiting with the family and paying tribute to a socialist. I want to stress that to people, a socialist, Nelson Mandela. The other thing, too, is obviously this administration has ordered, and good for Joe and a couple of the other sheriffs out there, have ordered our flags to be flown at half staff. Now, a lot of Americans, I will tell you this, a lot of Americans think that because he's not an American citizen that the president cannot order the flags to be flown at half staff. That is, fair disclosure, that is untrue. President Dwight D. Eisenhower, through an executive order, not through law, but through an executive order, stated the rules and what is customary And one of the rules is that the president can order. Now, the thing is that being a free person, we don't have to follow it. And that's what they chose to do. And they're rightfully so for doing so. They don't have to follow. You know, this dictator, this president has it in his mind that we are his subjects. And there are certain media outlets that will propagate that belief. There's no doubt about it. And so now, of course, they are criticizing various sheriffs who are also elected officials for refusing to fly the flag at half-staff in honor of Mandela. And they're perfectly right to do that as elected officials. But like I said, it's amazing that you will see, you know, the media and stuff become irate because they didn't follow the the president's suggestions or requests. You know, last time I checked when I woke up, we are still a nation of free men and women. It is ever so eroding, but we are still free Americans. And if an individual who has been elected into office chooses to do something, as long as he's not in violation of the law, unlike the president of the United States, chooses to exercise his freedoms, who is the president or his media lapdogs to criticize? Now, of course, they're going to scream it's racial, it's whatever. It's not racial. It's not whatever. Nelson Mandela, even though he had a story, you also have to remember is he has a shade of being a terrorist, associating with terrorists, enemies of this country. So, regardless of your beliefs, regardless if you agree or disagree, people have the right to choose who they are going to honor and who they are not. And if these sheriffs or these individuals refuse to honor Nelson Mandela, that is perfectly okay with them and with me. And it should be with you. So we need to, you know, like I said, Sheriff Joe out in Arizona, obviously. There's another sheriff who started it. You can put it in a Googler and you can find it. But you need to let them know that you support what they're doing as American citizens and as American patriots. So, now, we mentioned, I don't know if you guys saw this creepy video earlier today. I know that you guys don't troll the news like we do, but this is what the left wings media is putting out there. This is this is Greenpeace. Right before, obviously, Christmas. And you got to watch this video.
Dear children, regrettably, I bring bad tidings. For some time now, melting ice here at the North Pole has made our operations and our day-to-day life intolerable and impossible. And there may be no alternative but to cancel Christmas. I have written personally to President Obama, President Putin, all world leaders. Sadly, my letters have been met with indifference. Needless to say, these individuals are now at the top of my naughty list.
They, this is, once again, this actually is a front for two things. Number one, they have taken the holidays and they are trying to capitalize, right? That's what you're seeing. Number one. Number two, they are still pushing their global warming agenda after it's been proven, and even the climatologists who originally said that we're in global warming are now saying, well, we kind of got the numbers wrong, right? And we're seeing that it's not so much what we're doing, it's what the sun is doing. But of course, because there's revenue to be made and there's taxes to be extracted from individuals, they are not going to come off of that story, right? But it's amazing because news reports are coming out and saying that in the next 10 to 20 years, it will probably be the coldest. We're in that cycle. And then on top of that, as of today, the Antarctic, now granted it's the Antarctic, ice rates or ice shelf is growing at exponential speeds. And on top of that, they reported the coldest day in history. For all of you that were talking about being cold, I went outside and it was 19 degrees and I was cold. Well, in the Antarctic, it was 135.8 degrees Fahrenheit below zero, which is the coldest day in history. So, maybe Mr. Claus, maybe you need to relocate. I don't know. But hang in there. I don't think it's as bad as you wanted. So, but this goes back. Remember the video? Well, some of you probably won't, because you probably weren't awake during this time. I was waking up about this same time in my life. But there was a video that was put out by Al Gore's group, 10 by 10. So it was basically to reduce carbon emissions by 10% by the year 2010. I don't know if you saw that. But there was a video that his organization put out where basically it was disgusting. It was vile. And, if you think TV is vile, by today's standard, it was vile. So basically it starts out where kids are in the schoolroom and they're pledging to give up 10 by 10 and everything. Well, there was two Patriot students that didn't feel the need to make that pledge. And so what does the teacher do? She reaches in her desk, she pulls out a little red box with a box with a little red button, and she smashes it down, and the kid's head literally in the show explode. Guts everywhere. Pretty vile. I'm sure if you go out to the web and put 10 by 10 or 10 at 10 and put in carbon emission. I've got a copy of it somewhere. You know what? I'll put it up on our website. You go to patriotfb.com. That's patriotfb.com. I will put it up there tonight after the show, so you can see this. Then they proceed to go on the in the workplace, do the same thing, and then they go on to the pitch. There you go, the pitch for all my football fans in Edinburgh. I know he's listening. And they do the same thing. So this reeks of that type of media campaign. You know, they have no shame. None whatsoever. And, you know, I'm not for exploiting and destroying our natural resources, but I'm also not for out and out lying. So that, and that's the thing. You know, a lot of Americans don't realize Al Gore has made billions of dollars, has extracted, has stolen through fraud and manipulation, billions, not millions, but billions of dollars from corporations, from individuals, from you and I, everybody. So he can fly around in his private jets and his live in his multi-million-dollar homes and produce more carbon and put more carbon in the air in a week than we will in our lifetime. That's what it's all about for these guys. You know, it's all about making us feel guilty about living and trying to. I don't feel guilty. I was put on this earth by my creator, and who is some human to tell me otherwise. But, but right before, leave it up to the libtards that right before the holidays that they would come out with something exploiting and trying to extract more money through guilt from us. But you're listening to the Midnight Patriot Radio Show and Podcast. I am your host, Jeff Norton. You can join us here live every Monday through Friday from 9 p.m. till 12 a.m. Central Standard Time. When we get back, we're going to talk about some events that happened in the knockout game. Actually, it's pretty funny, pretty hilarious, and that, I'm a firm believer. We need to start taking back our streets. We need to start protecting ourselves. So we'll talk about that. We will talk about the latest efforts of local police departments, local, not the NSA, but local police departments to scan your cell phones. We'll tell you how that works, and we'll tell you how you can thwart it. But you're listening to the Midnight Patriot Radio Show and Podcast. Join us on the web at www.themidnightpatriot.com. Out of control spending, a government that no longer works for the people. Had enough? Then vote for Stone Anthony for president. Replace politicians with a citizen statesman. www.stoneanthony2016.com. You're listening to the Midnight Patriot Radio Show and Podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Norton. You can join us on the web at www.themidnightpatriot.com. If you'd like to join in the conversation, give us a call at 1-800-580-4870. That's 1-800-580-4870. The lines obviously are open. Or you can join us on our Skype account. The Midnight Patriot is our Skype name. Now, as a public service, I kind of want to let you guys know, I'm always talking about us being better stewards of the people. We don't want the government involved in our lives, right? You're still going to have a need out there. You're always going to have people, children, elderly, the infirm, the true, not the ones who are scamming the system, but the true individuals who are truly disabled. You're always going to have a need. And, this need comes out, even more so every year about this time. And like I said, I'm a huge advocate of, if you don't want the government to do it, then we need to step up and take care of those less fortunate. And, this just goes to show how giving and everything the Patriot community is. If you have an opportunity, go out to freedomprepper.com. That's freedomprepper.com/Christmas. There's a link on their site. They are actually taking up donations, $5 donations, cup of coffee if you go to Starbucks, right? Cup of mud, crappy coffee. I'm sorry. I just like my good old discount coffee, But if you're so inclined, give $5. That's all they ask. They'll make sure that money goes to a child. Make sure that a child has a present under the Christmas tree this year. Now, things have been lean around the Norton house, obviously, as we start up another venture. But, through the kindness of God and his direction, and, he is a kind and merciful God. Like I said, he gives us what we need, not what we want. And it's amazing, be it accounting software, hosting, or whatever it is. It's amazing how those doors have opened up. Like I said, we spend close to over $2,000 a month for everything, for all the services and products that we're bringing you through Patriot Facebook and FB.com. Also our site, the Midnight Patriot. But I will tell you, and these are major corporations. These aren't fly-by-night companies who are trying to get a name for themselves. These are major corporations. They have given us just incredible discounts to help us. So I will tell you, even though, we're considered alternative, we're considered by some as whack jobs, there are some companies, some corporations, and actually some CEOs of corporations who understand what we're doing, who understand the message, and they're willing to give us huge discounts. And like I said, I don't have a problem telling you Amazon. I don't have a problem telling you Cloudflare and Akeem. I don't have a problem telling you, our server company, Rackspace, amongst several. We have multiple hosting companies. See, because I understand, switches can be flipped at any one space. So we're actually across many different platforms. And so we're, like I said, we're fortunate. And our accounting software, FreshBooks, got the freshbooks.com. They gave it to us free so we can keep track of everything. Free of charge. They normally charge $30 a month. They gave it to us free because they believe in the message that we're putting out there. And they haven't even asked for advertising. That's what's amazing. They haven't even asked for advertising. But, America's waking up. People are starting to get on board. Get on board. Now, one of the things I want to do, tell you that all the music that's provided here at the Midnight Patriot radio show and podcast is given to us, another great organization, given to us by Madison Rising. Go out to MadisonRising.com, check out their CDs, buy their gear. If you have an opportunity to see them in concert, go see them, support them, let them know that you heard them on the Midnight Patriot. Now, you can also buy that from Amazon, or you can buy it directly from MadisonRising.com. Let them know. Let them know you heard the music here at the Midnight Patriot radio show and podcast. You can also, in our video section, going back to patriotfb.com. If you go to the music, we have it broken down in category. So you can go to the video music, click on the music section, and within the music section, we actually got 4 other videos up there. So you can rock out. And they came out with a new CD, so, get their new CD as well. It's pretty cool stuff. We downloaded it from iTunes, so I have it on my iPod, my old iPod. And we hook it up and, we crank it out and everything. So give them a call, MadisonRising.com. Now, one of the things, we've all heard about the knockout game. Now, America's getting wind to it, right? We're figuring it out. We're starting to protect ourselves. I don't know what's more amazing. Well, I do, I appreciate both sides of this, but, there was apparently, we'll get to this, the second part of this. In Las Vegas, there was a man and a woman who were walking through a mall. And there was an individual, and you can go out and watch the video on the Blaze TV. Blaze TV has it. But, or the Blaze. But there's an individual, a thug, piece of crap, who decides that he's going to assault a woman. Now, mind you, there's a man and a woman walking together, and he hits the woman. Now, if there isn't any greater reason for an ass whooping, I don't know what is. You hit a woman, regardless of how angry you are, walk away. Walk away. But defend yourself, defend yourself if you feel threatened. Because, I've seen in Milwaukee, I've seen women, gang members, come up and assault people. You have the right to protect yourself. But what I'm saying is keep your anger in check to a point. You should never hit a woman, but protect yourself. Leave that up to you. But this low-life piece of crap, man and woman walking through a mall, holiday shopping or doing whatever, the guy takes a swing and hits the woman. Right? The knockout game. Well, to his surprise, this woman doesn't go down. And as he's running through the mall, like the coward that he is, they catch up to him. And he gets his butt beat. I'm talking beat. He got everything he deserved. Everything he deserved. And we need to start doing that in this country. We need to stop being afraid, and we need to start standing up for our rights. We need to start sending the message to these thugs and these bangers and whoever they are. We're not going to take it anymore. We're gonna meet you in the street, and we're gonna fight you, and we're gonna take back our country. No more. We're not gonna do it anymore. But you got to watch this video because this guy gets his butt just beat, and rightfully so. He's lucky that more people didn't beat the crap out of him. It was just the woman and her boyfriend. And they teach a guy a lesson. Now, the concerning part, like I said, there's two parts to this. The concerning part is what the Las Vegas police say, because this is all on video. You can watch the video by going out to the Blaze. According to the police, the sheriff basically says that it appears the crime depicted on the video is a misdemeanor battery, charge punishable by 6 months in jail and or $1,000 fine. He's not talking about the knockout game. He's talking about the man and the wife, or the boyfriend, girlfriend, or male, female. I don't know what their relation. When they kicked the crap out of this dude, when they caught that on video, because they didn't catch the knockout on video, or they did, and the guy, obviously, who was videotaping it, didn't want to put that up there because it would incriminate both of them as accessory and primary. They just show the guy getting beat after the fact. But enough witnesses came forward and said what happened. But of course, the sheriff is talking about prosecuting the man and woman. Now, maybe they beat the sense back into this individual because he got up and told the police that he refuses to press charges. But you need to go out and watch the video. And, like I said, I'm a firm believer in concealed carry. Now, I'm not going to tell you what you should do. I will tell you what I will do if I feel threatened, if I feel my family's threatened, if I feel that my community is threatened. I will protect myself, my family, and my community at whatever means possible. You can draw your own conclusions from that statement. But that actually happened over the weekend, obviously. But yep, he got it handed to him. Got it handed to him. Now, changing up the topic here. As you all know, last week, for the last couple of weeks, Obama, and this just goes to show you how this president is so insignificant in the world stage these days. Afghanistan, that country, remember the country that we originally went after? Afghanistan and the president, they've been trying, Karzai, trying to work out a deal about the removal of our troops. And of course, our troops are going to stay there. And, I'm a firm believer, bring them home. That place goes to a crapper, let it go to a crapper. Who cares? Right? But as to show you how much this president is not only disliked in America, but also on the world stage. And you know what? I'm going to watch the Mandela funeral because I think it might get interesting. It's going to get very interesting if President Barack Obama goes. Who knows? He might, come up with some other excuse to stay home, because he's not well liked. But apparently we couldn't do a deal with Afghanistan. Couldn't get the deal done. John Frankenstein Kerry. God, he looks like Herman Munster. I'm sorry. Guys, it's okay to grow old. It's okay. It's okay to be men, grow old. It's okay to have crow's feet. That's a man with too much money. When men start wearing cosmetic products, or when men have face lifts, that's a sign Seriously. That is, and you know what? He kind of not only does he look like Herman Munster, but he kind of looks like his wife. But, I digress. But he does. He looks like Herman Munster from the Munsters. Remember that growing up? Carrie Herman Munster. But like I said, when you've got to have plastic surgery to get rid of the crow's feet, there's something seriously wrong with you. I don't know how do you pass a psychological exam? You're that insecure about yourself that you as a man that you have to have plastic surgery. And to be honest with you, I'll say the same thing to women. Women, you're beautiful just the way you are. And if you feel, the women that are out there getting, facelifts and all that crap and doing all that crap, I don't know. If you're married, I feel sorry, I feel sorry for you. Because if your significant other, you feel that you have to do that to keep your mate, then I do. I'll pray for you. But going back to John Kerry, you would think that would raise red flags in your security clearance. It really would. You're that insecure that you have to have a facelift. What other mental issues do you have, Mr. Kerry? Seriously, think about it. It's a sign of insecurity. It's a sign of a mental defect. But I digress. But going back to Afghanistan. So John Herman Kerry couldn't get the deal done with Afghanistan. Couldn't get it done. Couldn't get the deal done. And we were holding all the cards, mind you. Last time I checked, it was our troops in their country. Still couldn't get it done. Not only does he have insecurity issues, he's got performance issues. In more ways than one, probably. I don't know. I digress. So he couldn't get it done. But you know what, though? It's okay. Because the other country that we were negotiating with, too, is, that we couldn't get it done with them either. Well, we got it done, but then we found out what done is not done, and, it's a mess. It all depends on what it is. I'm talking about Iran. So apparently now, Afghanistan, though, couldn't get the deal done with us. They turned to Iran, and they work out a treaty with Iran. You see the setup here? That's why I'm a firm believer. We need to bring all our troops home. Need to bring every last one of them. We need to stop putting men and women in harm's way. Our men and women in harm's way. And I know that they'll tell you we need their oil. We don't need their oil. We produce more oil in the United States than ever. We produce so much oil, we actually ship oil out of the United States. Let them drink it. Let them drink it. We'll get our oil somewhere else. But they do a deal with Iran. But they couldn't do the deal with us. It's almost to the point now, and it has everything to do with the fact that foreign countries, foreign governments have no respect for this administration. None. Zero, zip, none. There's an old Frank Sinatra song called Send in the Clowns. You remember that song? Remember the Send in the Clowns? I mean, it's a classic Frank Sinatra song. Let me see if I can use the power of the Googler here.
This is a song about a couple of adult people who have spent, quite a long time together. till one day one of them gets restless and decides to leave. Whether it's the man or woman who left is unimportant. It's a breakup.
The Patriot or the country. Remember the song?
It's a lovely marriage of words and music, written by Stephen Sondheim.
This is our administration and the world stage of politics.
Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Me here at last on the ground, and you in midair. Send in the clowns. Isn't it bliss? Don't you approve? One who keeps tearing around and one who...
There you go. Frank Sinatra, send in the clown. I mean, that's what I feel about this administration. And that's, you know, in all reality, that's how they're perceived in the world stage. You now have Afghanistan doing a treaty with Iran, right? But it doesn't end there. I wish it would. But it doesn't end there. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. You know, you have there apparently was a summit that that was coming up. And it was a summit with Saudi Arabia. It was a summit in which we were supposed to meet with Saudi Arabia. And, you know, have a little meeting. Well, Saudi Arabia calls it off, calls the meeting off. Now, you know, that's never happened. Saudi Arabia has always viewed America as an ally. And now even the administration, and you know, we're losing our foothold in the Middle East because of this administration. And we're going to talk about the comments about, you know, comments that are being said on the world stage. Seymour Hersh now is calling the administration psychotic, schizophrenic, foreign policy. We'll talk about that when we get back from the break. If you'd like to join in the conversation, join us on the web at www.themidnightpatriot.com. Feel free to give us a call, 1-800-580-4870. That's 1-800-580-4870, or chat at patriotfb.com.
It's time to go, my country's calling me. son gave her a happy life. I found myself overjoyed. She told me a baby boy was on the way. But my face grew pale when I picked up the mail and saw my second Call of Duty came. I'm fighting for the things that I believe. It's time to go, my country's calling me. Like her walking through that door, leaving with my head held high. Set my country through this war, but I'll come back with pride. I love my family, but I'll serve my country, and I'll be the man before the old to those above me. But I'll fight harder, and I won't be martyred, and I'll make it home so all my children know me. When I go walking through that door, leaving with my head held high. I'll serve my country through this war, but I'll come back with pride. And I'll go walking through that door, I'm leaving with my head high. Serve my country through this war, but I'll come back with pride. 'Cause all my children love me. I'll come back alive. 'Cause all my children love me. I'll come back
Out of control spending, a government that no longer works for the people. Had enough? Then vote for Stone Anthony for president. Replace politicians with a citizen statesman. www.stoneanthony2016.com. You're listening to the Midnight Patriot Radio Show and Podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Norton. You can join us here live every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 12 a.m. Central Standard Time, or on the web at www.themidnightpatriot.com for the latest shows and information. If you'd like to chat with us during the show, you can join us on patriotfb.com. That's patriotfb.com. I'd like to welcome Michael to the conversation, and also Maria. Maria, welcome to the conversation. If you guys have something to say or whatever, just post it right there in the chat window at patriotfb.com. You know, we'll try to get to your topics, have a conversation. I got to learn to do two things at once. Sandy says I can't do it. She's probably right. No, she is right. But I'll try. I'll try to do what I can do. So welcome to the conversation. You know, right before, we went to the break, obviously, we were talking about the United States losing its standing. I mean, we're getting to the point now to where our allies, we've offended our allies. We've completely isolated ourselves, completely isolated ourselves on the world stage. John Herman Munster Carey, what a piece of work. What a piece of work. But, it's getting to the point now where they're actually, our foreign policy is being called schizophrenic. In other words, it's all over. We have no policy. And that's what you get when you have a community activist who has zero experience running anything other than his mouth. He's good at that. Absolutely. You got to do a radio show. Oh, that's right. He couldn't think on his feet. Has to be script. But no, he could do a script show. He could. He could do a script show. Couldn't do this show because you got to think on your feet. No teleprompters here. Just me and a computer screen and you. If you'd like to join in the conversation, give us a call, 1-800-580-4870. That's 1-800-580-4870. Or, of course, you can join us on Skype at the Midnight Patriot is our Skype name. Or, of course, on chat at patriotfb.com. So, it's getting pretty bad. Now, getting back here to the United States, CBO is a troublesome number. We're going to get to economic news here in a minute. But the CBO, just at top 40%, paid 106.2% of the income taxes. Now, I'm sorry. How does that work? But what's really sad is it actually works. And let me tell you why. Because, let's just talk about 100%, right? But the top 40% paid 106.2% of the income tax. The bottom 40% paid a negative 9.1%. A negative 9.1%. So that's how that number works out, right? So you got 80%. And between the two, it averages out that the 40 paid 106.2. This comes from the CBO. CBO is a nonpartisan office, Congressional Budget Office. They're nonpartisan. Now, granted, the bottom 40% who paid negative 9.1% on average got about almost $19,000 in money extracted from the 40%. Those who pay to those that don't. It's not a shocker, though. It's really not. Because if you think about it, there's a quote actually that was shared with me today, and I want to share it with you. The upper class uses the middle class to control the lower class, right? But in this case, CBO reported top 40% paid 106% of all income taxes, and the bottom 40% paid negative 9.1%. And then on top of that, they weren't done. They weren't done. They had to go back around. They had to go back around and get more. On average, $18,000. And this administration wants to wonder why this media, the media is part of the administration. Pravda. Talk about Pravda a year about Russia. Vladimir Putin got rid of the last state media outlet. They're all corporate, but they're all controlled by him. So, but I digress. But this administration, with their Pravda media, they're still, sticking it to us every chance they get. And it's not even a Robin Hood thing anymore. This is outright theft. It's a rape and pillage. It's no difference than the Saxons, sacking the castle. That's what's going on. But of course, do whatever he's got to do to get votes. See, I'm a firm believer, and I'm just going to tell you that, what my philosophy is. It is this president's, job to tee it up, to get it ready. So when she runs, and God forbid she's ever elected, and we'll do everything possible to make sure she is not elected, period, whatever it takes. Because at that point, we're done. The United States is over. And it's not because she's a female, and it's not because of that. I would like to see a strong female in political office, without a doubt. I think they could do very well. But the problem is with Hillary Clinton is that she's made it perfect. You know, she has been almost indicted for fraud and theft. Fraud. Say theft. She probably stole things, but she hasn't been. You know, when she was working under the Nixon as a clerk for the prosecution for Nixon, he had to fire her. I want to repeat that. He had to fire her because she was being dishonest and lying. She has a history. And it's amazing. Even President Barack Obama had to give up his bar. Hillary Clinton was removed from the bar. And the fact that she's even in contention for being president of the United States is repugnant at the very least. She was removed. That means typically when you have your law degree, now lawyers rally around each other because they feel that it diminishes the institution as a whole, the legal system, and there's enough issues there already. But they rally. So they give you as a lawyer every opportunity to save face. Ask Michelle Obama, President Obama. They give you the opportunity in most cases to give up your law license. Ask Michelle Obama and President Obama. I'll tell you how that worked. Because they did it. And they didn't give it up because, you know, once again, this administration, you know, they're liars. You got to do your own research. They gave it up because of Michelle Obama's patient dumping. Oh, I let a secret out. Did I air some Chicago laundry there? When she sat on the board of directors of the Cook County Hospital, she led a program. I'm sorry, if this is not news, please turn off your radios now. Don't, you know, but, you know, she led a program that was doing patient dumping. For those that don't know, patient dumping is when people come into a hospital and because they can't pay or for whatever reason, what they'll do is they'll take those patients and they'll put them in a cab or buy them bus fare or whatever and have them go to another hospital. And in this case, they were actually as a policy, and she was on the board of directors. And, you know, they have a documented investigation in which the hospital that she sat on the board and her policies were caught patient dumping. And shortly after, like I said, the reason why she gave up her bar, but that would be an egregious action. That would be dishonesty. You know, it's a criminal offense, actually. And you know, it goes to the core of this administration. This administration will look at you and say, oh, we care about you, we care about you, we care about you. They don't care about you. They care about your vote, but they don't care about you as an individual. Actually, you as an individual are disgusting to them. They don't care about you. They don't care about your well-being. They don't care about if you eat. They don't care about any of that. You are meat to them. You are cattle to them. You are a vote to them. Because anybody that, you know, makes their bones as a community organizer, their full function is to, and the way that they get their grants, their money, they make a living is by treating you as such, getting you riled up. But going back to Cook County here in Chicago, she sat on board, patient dumping. So she had to give up she was given the option of giving up their law license. And they did. They gave them up. They don't have law licenses here. But now you got Hillary Clinton. She actually she was disbarred. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Go right to jail. She was disbarred. And you need to look at that. She was disbarred. She would have been disbarred on numerous occasions, but they're, like I said, they rally around their own. These attorneys do. And that's exactly what happened. So now she's going to, she's running. But, she has a history of lying and cheating under oath. She does. She has a history of criminal activities. She has a history of targeting her opponents and using private information against them. And I'm talking about FBI files. So God forbid you put your name in a database if you're an official running for office, and you put your name in a database with your medical condition. You know how quick that's going to end up on the news? It's going to be leaked by an anonymous source. Yeah, right. Hillary Clinton, as much as, I'll tell you, I'd like to see a woman in the White House. I would. It ain't that one. She's a criminal. And look, let's face it. She has I'm just pointing to the evidence. People around the Clintons tend to die. Just saying. She's going to whack. Think of Tony Soprano. Going to whack. Bada bing, bada boom. But that's, we cannot have her in office. Come on. We got to come up with a better candidate, a much better candidate. Hey, I'm all for Ted Nugent and Sarah Palin. Can you imagine the debates there? The presidential debates? Ted Nugent, Uncle Ted. I'd love to see him run. Stone Anthony, same thing. These are individuals that aren't going to let them, we won't have debates. We're not going to have debates because they wouldn't agree to have an open debate. Everything's scripted now. All the questions are known beforehand. It's not a debate. That's a show. It's not even a reality show. It's a sitcom. Written by the political junkets. Pundits. But that would be incredible to watch. Stone or Ted, Uncle Ted, debate Hillary Clinton. The debate with me would start, hey, who knew Benghazi? And we're not going to get off the subject. I wouldn't let her off the subject. Wouldn't let her off the subject until the truth came out. And we know the truth. She let those men, the ambassador, die. And then they covered it up. Then they covered it up. And that's just the way it is. I'd like to see, that would be awesome. See Uncle Ted go after him. Talk about Sarah Palin. She's got a new show coming out on the Sportsman's Channel. All I want to see, I've asked people that I know that know her, I just want to see her load her own gun. Every time I've seen her on a hunting show, Sarah Palin, she's always had a gun that was loaded for her. It's kind of like baiting your own hook. I just want to make sure, she's a hunter. I just want to make sure she loads her own gun. So Sarah, Send me a YouTube video, or someone send me a YouTube video of her loading her own gun. I just want to see it one time. You want my vote, Sarah? Load your own gun. I want to see it. I want to see you rack that magazine. I want to see you drop. I want to see you tap it. Clear a malfunction. Go around the barricade. Double tap. I want to see you flip it, go from pew to pew, pew, pew. I want to see that. If you can do that, Mrs. Palin, I'm there. You got me. I just want to see it one time. Now, like I said, I've seen you, pull the trigger, and I've seen you, bear hunt. I've seen the video, so I want to see you load the gun, though. I want to make sure you exercise true gun control. As we wind down, what we're going to do is, since we don't have any guests on, now tomorrow we're going to talk about guests. We're going to have, presidential candidate Stone Anthony's going to be joining us in the second hour, of course. That always goes on to long conversations. Now, starting next week, we are going to have Mondays are going to be a gun format Mondays. We're going to talk about all things gun. Of course, news, but then we'll bring in guests to talk about different weapons, reloading, targets, MILDOT, all that stuff. All the questions you want to ask about firearms, we'll have experts on starting next Monday. I look forward to that show. But tomorrow we're going to have presidential candidate 2016 Stone Anthony's going to join us. It's always a great conversation with him. I like Stone. I haven't talked to him all week. It's been crazy. Normally I talk to him throughout the week. But this week I haven't been too busy with the site. So join us tomorrow with Stone Anthony. We'll also keep you posted on what's going on. Now, we are going to be putting a lot more information here on this site. We are going to be getting other podcasters. So when you come to patriotfb.com, we're just going to be a small part of that. Got 21 other hours to fill. So if you know of a podcaster or you listen to another podcaster and you like to listen to them, at patriotfb.com, let us know. We'll reach out to them. We have an opportunity here. We have a souped up fighter jet. These servers that we've built, these servers that we put out there and stuff are just incredible. We're not basement dwellers here. Ain't one little server sitting on a pie rack somewhere in a corner, unlike Obamacare. We got horsepower. And I think we got pretty good tech support. Got a question or comment, you can always reach me at patriotfb.com. We'll address those, get those things fixed for you. But we need to grow this. Now, the other part of that, too, is I ask, we put the buttons up there. Go out there and use them. Go out and invite your friends. Import your contacts. Click on that, your Facebook, Yahoo, Twitter. Invite your friends. Have them join us here. Have them join the conversation here at the patriotfb.com. Now, as we run down, we were talking about cell phone data. And this is the concern. I mean, obviously there's a concern when the NSA is doing it, but this is a concern. Local law enforcement are now, because you've opened up the can of worms, you said it was part of the terrorism, and the local agencies are supposed to be in that front line of terrorism and fighting terrorism. So what you've done is you've given them, Mr. President, this John Ashcroft, and and all of you guys, when you did the Patriot Act and you changed, and the reason why I brought up John Ashcroft is because the Patriot Act that was signed was changed at 3 a.m. prior to it being signed by John Ashcroft. It was not the same Patriot bill that the House nor the Senate agreed upon. Yeah. They changed it, which means that they were going to change it all along. So it's like them showing you a contract. You go in to buy a house. They show you a contract. And right before you sign it, they drop a penny or a pen, and you turn around and they switch the contract out. And you sign the contract, they go, oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go. It's exactly what John Ashcroft did and his minions. Now, the reality of it is that we've had time to fix it. And it's still not getting fixed, which tells me that it was all intentional to begin with. But now you got local police. Now, law enforcement using methods from the NSA playbook. Local police are increasingly able to snoop up on large amounts of cell phone data using a new technology, including cell tower dumps and secret mobile devices, known as Stingray. So the antenna on the police vehicle determines the distance of the direction of the phone in relation to the Stingray and other cell towers, telling police where the phone is in real time. The intercepting device known as Stingray with relative antenna and gear is sold under the names of Amberjack, Kingfish, Harpoon, and Rayfish. I want one. I probably got one. Probably can make it. Learning how to do ham operating. It's pretty cool stuff. So there you go. So what they do is that they have your cell phone tower. Cell phones are consistently seeking the nearest tower even when you're not making calls. So what they do is they put up a antenna that's picking that up. That's not part of the cell phone tower. And as they're picking that information up, they're basically translating, it's going through them. But what happens is your phone connects to this police Stingray unit. The Stingray unit then connects you to the cell phone tower. But all your data, all your packets go through Stingray before it hits the cell phone. So they're gathering all that. Packet sniffing is the terminology. I know about that because today as we were setting up our firewalls, I was working with some really smart people today. Guys you might know. Guys in the industry. Guys you might know but don't know. Because these guys, A, have never been arrested, never been caught. And B, these guys don't tell you who their names are. I know them because I've been in the business for 28, almost, since I was 16 years old. So that's how that program works. So once again, a technology that you were told was only going to be used by your government, even though as horrible as that is, now you got local law enforcement now using it. You know, we knew about local law enforcement. When you get pulled over by a police officer, they will take your cell phone, plug it into a device, and download all of your data. That's why I highly recommend you get an encrypting software to encrypt your phone. That's what you do. And there are PGP encryption software out there for cell phones. And you can get them free. You know, get your phone encrypted. Now, one of the other things you can do, and we talk about this is tradecraft. I'm going to, right here as we wrap up the evening. But before we wrap up, join us on the web at www.themidnightpatriot.com or, of course, go to patriotfb.com. And before we actually wrap up, I got a caller. So let's give a call. Hey, caller, how are you?
Good. Thank you, Jeff.
Hey, who's this?
This is Mark.
Hey, Mark, how are you, buddy?
Mark from Indiana.
Mark from India. How are you, buddy?
Great. I just wanted to call in and thank you for all you're doing.
Oh, not a problem.
And looking forward to your show on Monday.
That's it. We'll, Monday will be a great show. Now that we're doing we're going to do Firearm Mondays. So, and I've got a topic. I got a couple experts, obviously, that are going to be on the show. And, we're going to talk about, one of the things, let's put this teaser out there for everybody, how to use a scope. And I'm talking about mil dots on scopes and stuff, and how are those used? And so I've got some guys that, obviously that are, F-class, what we call F-class shooters. These are nationally ranked competition shooters, guys that shoot for, they do it for sport. So, and then I also have another gentleman that I'm going to bring it on who was actually a sniper, which, we'll get him on, and that's going to be a great show. That's going to be an outstanding show. Army trained sniper.
You're doing that on Monday?
That's going to be Monday, yeah. Yep, Firearm Mondays we're going to call it. So, yeah, it's going to be an outstanding show because I'm, I shoot. I'm a shooter. I shoot at 100 yards and stuff, but I want to start reaching out there. I want to, I got guys that, we got – the range I go to is a 600-yard range. We have national champions that shoot at this range, and we're going to get them on, and we're going to talk about scopes and dope and all that stuff. And I'm not talking about the dope you smoke, so no one – I said that, so I'm waiting for someone to say yeah. So, yeah, that's Monday.
Now, do you shoot any competitive sports like IDPA or USPSA or Steel Challenge?
What's really crazy? I grew up as a family of marksmen. My father was, and I shot in a small IDPA match, shot a perfect round, but the problem is I am completely out of shape. I thought I was going to have a heart attack, and then in the process too, I twisted my knee. I lost literally by 2 seconds. Had a perfect round. I mean, I shot perfect round. But the problem was I was 2 seconds after they added up my time back and all that. I was 2 seconds under, so I came in second. And I just said, look, I'm not, I'll shoot when I get in better shape. And unfortunately, I'm still in bad shape. So I need to exercise.
The only way to get better is keep shooting, Jeff.
I know. I know. And that's the thing is we were talking about it. I just got to shoot more and more. I mean, we used to shoot quite a bit, and with this and everything else we're doing, it's just crazy. I need to get out there and shoot. I do. I have me a AR-15, a custom AR-15 that I'm finishing up for myself, but I've got other custom ARs that I got to get out to people. And once I'm done with that, then I'll take, I'll build mine up and then, go out and tear it up some. And
great. Well,
yeah.
If you're ever, I know Wisconsin isn't that far from Indiana.
Yeah.
If you're ever down here, if you want to go shooting, let me know. I'm
Sure.
a member of a club that is a very pro Second Amendment, North Porter County Conservation Club.
Sure.
And we put on matches every weekend.
Oh, wow.
And we actually just finished a class, a women's class that I introduced on 2 Million Bikers to DC, Indiana site, the American United site, some other sites on Facebook, and we had actually 34 women sign up for the class, and we took 30
Sure.
because that was a class limit, but it was a 4-hour course in situational awareness and
Sure.
Gun safety, gun handling. It's real good.
Yeah, no, I actually, I taught I taught a couple classes up here at Gander and stuff, and I really enjoy teaching, and we need to get more women into the sport and stuff. Now I got to ask, does your range allow you to, can we bring cans? Are we allowed to bring, in the state of
you
okay,
can bring,
as long as we have our Form 4, right?
Yeah, you can bring it. That's your that's all on your gig. If you come and shoot it, that's your responsibility to bring your forms.
Okay.
We have a lot of police officers that shoot
Sure.
at our range. They practice and qualify at our range.
Sure. Because I love shooting. That's the only problem is I have a Barrett 52, and I don't get to shoot it that much because all the ranges up here we can't. Even at the range that I belong to, which is a 600-yard range, they won't allow us because it goes over to the lake, or it's by the Lake Michigan, and they're afraid of us skipping rounds into the boats and stuff and everything.
Well, Jeff, have you heard of the Military Arms Channel?
Oh yeah.
On YouTube?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Hey, check him out. He's a friend of mine. He actually helped. He spoke at a Second Amendment rally we put on here at the courthouse in our county.
Sure.
And we also went to Second Amendment rallies in Indianapolis, South Bend. Pretty engaged group here in Porter County, Indiana.
Yeah, no, and you're not that far from me. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I'm just over the border,
Jeff, I don't know if it's my cell phone or yours. I'm having trouble hearing you. I apologize.
Oh no, it's fine. It happens. It happens. So you're actually on a hard line here. So I think it might be the cell phone and everything. So no, I'd love to. I'd love to, come down there and shoot and stuff. When I'm on my way to Tennessee, maybe I'll stop and spend an extra day.
Yeah, swing by.
Yeah.
I'm friends with Stone.
Yeah.
I support him. That's how I actually got hooked up with you.
Okay.
On the Midnight Patriot.
Gotcha.
Supporting Stone.
Yep.
So he's got my number.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, I'll be.
You need a place to stay? You let me know, brother.
Absolutely.
I'll set you up.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much. And are you going to do the bike ride rally with him this summer?
Last year I was the state ride captain for Indiana.
Okay.
For 2 Million Bikers DC.
Okay.
And this year I'm planning on going to Oklahoma with them.
Sure.
In April.
Sure.
And then also going to Washington, D.C.
Yep.
At the end of May. And then again on September 11th, Lord willing, I'll be there.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny. I've been talking, because of Stone, I've been talking to Sandy about getting, I live in the land of Harley, obviously. Right. We're 32 miles outside of Milwaukee and about another 32 miles or 40 miles outside of Chicago. So, but I was talking with Sandy about possibly getting a bike, and she was like, no, stay with the RV. So we're going to be driving the support vehicle, the RV and everything.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We need them.
Yeah, no, we're definitely, I'm already planning. I've already got it on my schedule. We're actually buying portable radio equipment that we can take with us, and then we'll just broadcast from wherever we're at that night, and just I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great trip, very exciting and stuff. So, but
brother, I am really having a hard time hearing you.
Okay,
and,
well,
I hope the next time I call in, we'll have a better connection.
Absolutely.
But I'm going to let you go here.
All right.
Plug back in the show.
All right.
If you can hear me.
No, I hear you fine. We hear you fine.
God bless you for all you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Keep up the good fight.
Thank you. Thank you. So there you go. It's just, and that's what it's all about. It's Patriots. Here at the Midnight Patriot Radio Show and Podcast, you can give us a call at 1-800-580-4870. That's 1-800-580-4870 if you'd like to join in the conversation and stuff. And, we're a voice. We give you a voice. We give you an opportunity to communicate, tell people about your events. More importantly, though, not only on the website or, listen to the show, but join us at the website, patriotfb.com. That's patriotfb.com. And I think you can pretty much surmise once you see our site what FB actually represents. So it's freedom, brother. That's what it is. It's Patriot Freedom, brother. So, join us out at the web. So right before, we were wrapping up. So I kind of let the cat out of the bag there. Mondays, we're going to start talking about firearms. And I know some of you are rolling your eye. No, we're going to start asking questions that you guys are afraid to ask. I mean, I'm going to ask. I'm going to become the Bob Vitla. Darn well Bob Vitla knows how to build a house, but he always asks stupid questions, right? I am. We're going to bring in, we're going to bring in snipers. I've got a gentleman who's been a guest on the show before. He was a trained sniper in the military, in the armed services. We're going to bring him in. I've got another gentleman who is a F-class shooter. For those that don't know, F-class is basically open class. These guys are shooting anywhere from 600 to 1,000 yards. That's a long ways. And these are competition shooters. This is what they do for fun, and they're very good. And at our range, we're fortunate. I live in an area where I have 3 of the top barrel makers in the country right here. And these guys are experts. in that. And so we're going to bring them on and we're going to talk to them. There's some questions that I have about how to effectively use a scope, how to dope it in, how to use the mil dots and do that. And I know a lot of you guys, I already know how to do that. Well, we're going to bring in some experts and then maybe they'll teach you some tricks, some things that you don't know. So join us next Monday as we start having, we're going to call it Munitions Mondays, right? And of course, tomorrow we're going to have presidential candidate Stone Anthony, 2016, is going to be joining us. Wednesday, don't know. Thursday, Prepper Recon is going to be back. It's just going to be a great week. It's going to be an outstanding week. But I just want to tell everybody as we wind down here and head into the evening, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for allowing me to take my talent, what has been given to me, and to be able to affect change, be it the broadcasting, be it the IT, the computers and everything. I just want to say thank you. And I know that kind of sounds strange, right? But you guys are you're motivating me to do better, to become a better patriot. And for that, I just want to say, it's my honor, it's my privilege to serve you, to give you the freedom and the forum so that we can get the message out there. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you, my fellow patriots. Thank you for being part of the solution. Thank you for supporting our efforts, going out to our website, patriotfb.com, for Freedom Brother, patriotfreedombrother.com, patriotfb.com. Also joining us on our podcast website, which is themidnightpatriot.com. It's just been phenomenal. Now, we have a lot more to cover in the news, but going back to the cell phone, and then we'll cut it off. Didn't forget. I'm getting better at taking notes. So with cell phones, this is tradecraft. What you do is you go out, you get yourself $100, whatever, about $100. You go to a convenience store, be it a gas station or whatever. You buy one of those prepaid Visa cards, right? A prepaid Visa card. With that prepaid Visa card, now they'll send you a card with your name on it, but you don't have to do that. You get that prepaid Visa card. You then go to Walmart, Kmart, but typically Walmart, and you buy yourself a burner phone. You use your prepaid card to pay for it. Now, the thing is, when you get your card, you pay cash for it. Because the reality of it, when you register the card, they don't know if you're Joe Schmo or Peter Michael or whoever. And the thing is, if you really want to mix them in, and that's why it's important that you get with a Patriot group, if you really want to throw them off, because you do have to register the card because there are banking laws for laundering and stuff. But if you really want to throw them off, because you don't have to give your social or anything like that. You buy a card, your buddy buys a card, and then another buddy buys a card, right? And then you swap the cards. That really tears them up. And then you go buy your burner phone. And you use that card to buy the burner phone and use that card to do it. Then what you do is you sign up for a service called OneBox or Ring Central or one of those services. And that's the number you give to your people. Now, the thing is that number will always stay the same. And I know, it's going to be about $40-50 a month between the phone and all that. And you sign up for Ring Central, and that's the number you give to people. Now, within Ring Central or OneBox, I prefer OneBox, you can do Ring Central. And if you really want to be sneaky, get one from out of the country. There you go. Because it's all over the internet. So then what you do is then you tie that. You say, any calls that come in here, go to this phone number of your cell phone. And that's the number you give out. And so after about a month or 2 months or 3 months, whenever it is, you throw that cell phone away and you do the process all over again and just tie it to another cell phone number. That's how you do it. Just a little tradecraft trick for you there. But you're listening to the Midnight Patriot Radio Show and Podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Norton. You can join us on the web at www.themidnightpatriot.com. Or, of course, you can also join us at patriotfb.com. midnightfb.com. It's been an incredible night. Now that we don't have a guest, we're just, we'll do a 2-hour show. Usually when we have a guest, we always go 3 hours. But without a guest or anybody calling in and stuff, we'll just go ahead and do our 2-hour show. Tomorrow, remember to, stay tuned. We're going to have Stone Anthony's going to be joining us in the second hour. It's going to be interesting. We always have great conversations. It's fun. It's fun. I love our guests and everything. But join us on the web. Get out there. Get involved. Help us grow the site. Tonight, I'm going to be obviously working on the site when I hang up here, and then we're going to get some more videos up there for you. I'll get those up there and answering some questions. So if you want to, converse with us after the show, go out to patriotfb.com, sign up. Either use your Facebook or you can just sign up natively. Sign up, and you can join us in the chat forum there. But I just want to say thank you. Thank you, all my fellow patriots. Thank you, all my fellow Americans. Thank you for the support. We'll keep rolling, man. We'll keep this going. As long as you guys are there supporting us, we'll, to the last patriot. To the last patriot. We'll always be there. You always have a voice here at the Midnight Patriot Radio Show and podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Norton. May God bless you until we talk again tomorrow, my friends. May God keep you safe. Good night.